I want to talk about Cajun curry chicken.
Oh. Episode 13, y'all. We've been watching this new show, The Worst Cooks of America.
Ooh-wee.
You are listening to the Conquer Life podcast, where we bring you life experience, knowledge, and wisdom to help you conquer life in your own journey.
Yeah, what he said.
Hey, what episode is this?
Episode 13.
Halloween week?
Aha.
Dun, 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 dun.
That is kind of trippy, though.
Yeah, it is.
Episode 13. Halloween 2015. The week of. The Conquer Life podcast with yours truly, Trey and
Autumn.
Hollises. The Hollisai. Would that be plural?
I don't know, but if we say our name, do we put the apostrophe after and then do apostrophe S or just apostrophe? Because I'm always confused.
I think it's apostrophe after the S. I think.
I hope so.
You know, that's actually been one of the $1 million questions throughout my life. Like, I wonder, where did I put this apostrophe? I don't know.
I'm going to ask an English major.
All right, so check this out. As we talked about in the last week's episodes, where we did some catch up with The Flash, we've been kind of on Netflix because we have this uncanny ability to draw life lessons out of TV shows. Now, I don't really watch much TV, so that's why I watch things on Netflix. And when I come across a good show, then, like most people who have Netflix, I binge out. And I'm going to watch that series from beginning to end, no matter how many days it may take.
Should be called binge flicks.
Yeah, binge flicks. There you go. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Write that down. That's a startup right there. Competition to Netflix. Binge flicks. So yeah, the new show that we're on now is The Worst Cooks of America. And I believe the newer episodes have different chefs. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the newer ones, but the ones that we started on have Bobby Flay and Burrell. And so in this show, they go head to head and they pick their teams that they have to coach. They have to turn these poor home cooks into decent cooks.
Ridiculously bad cooks.
Yeah, some of the dishes are kind of like, what was the one you talked about?
Cajun curry catfish. I know I said in the intro chicken, but it's catfish.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was, that was a mess. Some of these dishes, I mean, you can see the disgust in Ann and Bobby's face, and as they go to spit it. There's even been a few that are like, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna taste this.
There was one lady that came up there that she ate dog food, and she put dog food in her dishes.
That was in the auditions, yeah. She's like, I cook with dog food. That was nasty.
Yeah, very.
I don't even know. It was like a can of pedigree or something. So, in one of the latest episodes that I've seen, there is a unique exchange between Ann Burrell and one of her, I guess, team members, team members, for lack of a better term, team cooks, whatever you want to call them. And you know what? Here's the clip. Hold on. Here's the clip.
What's that?
That was a slip of the spoon.
What is it, though?
Mascarpone.
There's no salt.
It doesn't taste nearly...
It doesn't taste anything like mine.
Anything like yours, no.
No. I'm trying to figure out where our disconnect is because I desperately want to reach you as a student.
I'm not getting the focus that I need yet.
I can only give you the tools. It is up to you to pick up and use them.
I understand. I'm not feeling in the best of spirits. I'm thinking about my family. I just don't want to let my family down.
Okay. There are quite a few takeaways there. We're going to break this down like an NFL play. Grab the chalk. Let's go to the chalkboard. Go ahead.
Skirt. One, he's clearly a hot mess. He's not focused. And he clearly states...
Clearly stated.
He clearly states it. Another
I can't
thing,
find my focus.
Can't find my focus. I see him because he can't find his focus. He's excuse-driven. Concerned about my family.
Which, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. I mean, you know, the man's being sincere. He's thinking about his family, and he's probably racked full of nerves.
Yes, but pay attention to that sentence. He's concerned about his family, but at the same time, he wants so desperately to make them happy
and proud
with what he's doing. So you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Again, that's that disconnect, and the disconnect that Ann was speaking on as well is that's like that perfect storm between the mentor and the mentee, or the coach and the coachee, or the teacher and the student. If the student is not focused on being there and being in the moment and learning from the teacher, then all is lost.
Yeah, because she clearly states that I've given you the tools. It's up to you to use them.
Exactly.
So if you're not using them, whose fault is it?
It's almost like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. That was a sorry horse impersonation, but the flip side to that, which I learned from one of my former mentors and former professors, Dennis Giannetti, who's also a coach and speaker and soon to be author and all of these wonderful things that he's doing. Yes, it's true indeed that we cannot lead a horse. I mean, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make them drink. But as the teacher's job is, it's to make the horse thirsty. Yeah. So, does that leave room to say that maybe this individual, maybe like many other individuals, they're just not thirsty enough yet?
Possibly. Maybe it's also a learning lesson for the teacher. Because, okay, you have a disconnect, you've laid it out, but you have to understand that each person has their own learning style.
Yes.
So if you're not reaching, there's a disconnect. It's not just his fault, but it can be her fault as well.
Yeah, there's certain buttons that we have to learn to tap into with the student.
Yes.
And that's tricky sometimes, and especially in something like these shows, you can't, I mean, you can feel a person out and kind of learn a little bit about them and what their motivation is. Clearly, this gentleman, his motivation was to make his family happy. Whereas a lot of the other people's motivation that I hear, the ones that do well and move on round after round, is not only to make their family happy, but because it has turned into a personal journey for themselves to become better cooks.
Yeah, they've developed a passion or realized that they have a passion there. That is a big airplane.
Yeah, that is. That's a loud one, too. Yeah, our timing is obviously
impeccable.
Not great. Yeah. Shout out to Palm Beach International Airport and air traffic control. Thanks for rerouting all those planes directly over our neighborhood while we're podcasting. But we like it like that because it's authentic. Anywho. Okay, so back to what we were saying. You were talking about passion.
Yep, so I think the takeaway from the coach's perspective is she needs to be able to retrain his mind or have him focus on what he's wanting out of the equation and not necessarily doing it for other means.
Yeah, true indeed. That would be definitely something that the coach should take a look at. Nonetheless, I think that, again, from the student side, it comes down to that personal responsibility. If there's something that you want to learn, then again, you have to be in that moment. You have to be fully focused on what your goal is. If your goal is to make your family happy or proud, how are you going to do that? And in this case, that gentleman, I think his name was Bob, Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob's goal is to make his family proud. Well, in order to make his family proud, the purpose of him being on the show was to become a better cook so that he can cook for his family. And so that should have been his focus. And he lost that focus. And that correlates to a lot of things that we do in life because, see, he was distracted. He was distracted by these different thoughts. And I'm sure he was probably, like I said earlier, he was probably nervous. And, I mean, his audition dish, it was, what was it? It wasn't dorm chili. It was something else, and it was almost like
I think it was dorm chili.
It was something, but it was horrible.
And they wouldn't even taste it.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. So he has to, in this case, again, he has to focus on what is there and now and present right before him. In that moment, he should have focused on that dish. And he could have gone over his notes that they take, because when they're all getting the instruction and the demo from the head chefs, aka either Bobby or Ann Burrell, when they're taking down these notes and going through the recipe, and then they have to basically do the same recipe. What I'm missing the word that I'm looking for.
Recreate it.
Recreate. Yeah. Okay. They have to recreate that dish. And so, I mean, I don't know how about you all out there. Some of you are probably great cooks, and some of you probably, like a lot of these people on the show, you do takeout a lot. But either way, though, it comes down to directions. There's a great big void there when you can't follow directions.
Well, see, and I think that's the big key when it comes to having and accepting the craft of culinary art. You first have to be able to follow a recipe. Once you can get that kind of structure down, then you can kind of deviate from that recipe or start adding in, other things once you understand flavor profiles, how things are going to work together. But you have to be able to follow what that direction says, and if you follow it to a T, it's going to come out exactly how it should. If you deviate from that without completely understanding, what the possible outcomes can be, and before you're ready, it's going to come, to the situation like this where mascarpone didn't taste like mascarpone.
There's no salt in this. There's no
this
salt.
This does not taste like my stuff.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't taste like yours. But and then the other great takeaway of that is, when you're given the tools, a lot of times you'll find, especially for those of you who are on personal development missions or career development, business, professional development, whatever the case may be, if you're listening to this trying to get some insight or different perspective that you can plug into your own life and your own journey, the thing is we'll lay out the tools for you. We'll lay out the instruction for you, the things that you can do to take the steps toward what it is that you want to do. But in the end, comes back to that personal responsibility thing. It's up to you to take the tools and build. Use the knowledge. Use the resources.
Follow the instructions.
Follow the instructions. I mean, we all know how to follow instructions, right?
Well, I mean, and you can even take it to an example of building something. A kid's toy that you get for Christmas always comes with instructions. How many times I'm not going to do the instructions, and then you end up with 5 extra screws and an arm hanging off the side because you're not paying attention. You know.
But sometimes they actually put extra screws in there.
No.
Yes. But no, I know what you mean.
Or not enough. Yeah.
The extra screws.
Extra.
Follow instructions. Christmas gift. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I was done with that.
Oh. Well, you didn't make it known that you were done with your point. Gosh.
I'm clear. Crystal.
So yeah, the great takeaways out of this, like I said, are going to be: you are given the tools by your teachers, by your supervisors, by your life coach, by your business coach. You're given the tools. What are you going to do with them? You have to focus on those tools and focus on the mission at hand. That's takeaway 2. Focus on the mission at hand. By the way, that's also the third universal fundamental of the Conquer Life mindset. Focus. There's awareness, commitment, focus, and action. And in this case, focus is key. If you don't focus, you get distracted and things get shifted. Your attention goes somewhere else.
Like paying attention to the nether plane.
Another plane. That's okay. We're going to talk through this plane. Talk through. But yeah, the focus is extremely important. That is a major key. I mean, obviously, okay, let's break down the Conquer Life mindset real quick in these last few minutes, because again, I think this is about a 22 minutes podcast. We're keeping these short. Awareness. These people, these contestants on The Worst Cooks of America, they are aware, they have self-awareness that their cooking sucks. It just does. All right? So they're moving into commitment. Okay, they want to be a better cook. So they were able to land a spot on this show to learn from perhaps some of the greatest chefs in America how to become better. How to learn flavor profiles, how to learn what vegetables and what sauces and what spices and what herbs go together, how to cook a steak, how to cook a burger, how to make gelato. So they're committed to doing these things. They landed a spot on this show, and then they have to, now this is where it gets tricky, because this is where the focus comes into play. Because see, now that they're on this show, they're going to get nervous. They're going to have all these cameras and lights on them. They're going to be thinking about their family, because you have no idea how many people I've heard on the show. I just want to make my son proud. Or I just want to make my mom proud. Or I just want to make my kids proud. Yeah. So they get distracted by these thoughts. And then they probably start moving into a feeling of inadequacy. Like, oh, I'm not good enough to do this. I can't do this. In fact, we had one guy, remember Benjamin?
Yeah.
He was so wrapped up thinking about his family. Granted, I think he said on the show that he has an autistic son, and I'm sure he's missing his family, because this is an 8-week ordeal that they go through. They're 8 weeks away from home. So I'm sure they do phone calls and Skype and stuff like that. But that's a legitimate, a legitimate stray of attention, because we all love our families. All right, I get it. However, you have to understand what the big picture is. And in order to reach your big picture, you have to focus on those small stepping stones. And those small stepping stones within this case were making it through those challenges to see if they can get to the end and win the $25,000 and win the huge cooking set and everything like that. Because then they could take that knowledge that they've learned back home with this brand new cooking set, and they can hug their family, and boom, you're at the big picture. Now, they all took action.
Yeah,
That's
one
evident.
of them.
Yeah. They all took action.
Yeah, the focus for them is the big key, and that's what separates the ones who were able to sustain and grow and develop week by week by week. You look at Vinny, Vinny from season 1. You know, his focus was he wanted to make his son proud.
Yep.
And so when it came down to his focus, every time there was a new skill set being brought to the table, he was just soaking in the knowledge, because he was looking at that big picture, and he's like, okay, yeah, I miss my son, but I'm trying to make him proud, so I'm going to suck this in and do the best I can, so that way when I get to the end, I have something really that can make him proud that I want to deliver.
And that was a beautiful ribeye steak. Oh my gosh, that ribeye steak he made. Oh, a huge bone-in ribeye steak grilled to perfection. And he had, what did he have on it? Like some chipotle puree sauce, something on it. Oh my gosh. And then it's like the when they had to fillet the whole salmon. He said, "Hey, I got this. I go fishing. I know what I'm doing here." And sure enough, he carved that salmon down perfectly. He used his skills. He used his other things that he had, his other knowledge. Oh, there's our timer. He used his other knowledge that he had to bring into the occasion and go further and meet his goal, meet the big picture of winning that first season.
So I think the biggest takeaway here is focus can really prohibit you if it's not in tune,
or strengthen you.
Gotta have it.
Use the tools that are laid before you. Be aware of those tools, of course. And focus on your big picture, but more importantly, focus on the small stepping stones that will take you to the big picture.
Here and now.
Is that it?
I think so.
How do you say that's done? Or
We
see you
out?
next time? I'm talking about in Spanish though. Eta concludio? I don't know. That's the conclusion.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you again next week in November for episode 14.
And if you're going out with your kids this weekend for Halloween, be safe.
Yes, be safe.
Have fun. Check their candy.
Yeah. You know, in this day and age, there's a lot of weirdos out there who want to play jokes and games and do stupid stuff. Also, in the meantime, just a bit of news real quick. We are revamping the Conquer Life Mindset website.
And it's looking hot.
Yes, it is. This is probably my best work yet. Also, it will be linked to another domain as well, so you all can get to know us a little bit more, even more. And we're going to include more video of ourselves in there. TreyandAutumn.com also redirects to the site, and that's TreyandAutumn.com, or Conquer Life website, or excuse me, ConquerLifeMindset.com. Right now, the podcasts are still up on the site, but every other page is blocked until we get it concluded and get it wrapped up in a nice pretty bow just in time for the new season going into 2016. If you have any comments, questions, drop them in the comment box there on the site, on the podcast page. And I think that's about it.
If you have anybody that you feel that can really use this content, share it with them.
Please do.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Sharing
I can't look at you anymore.
Sharing is caring. Y'all have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
All right,
the Conquer Life Podcast. We out.